let's talk about if you want your dog to be a therapy dog and the gear that you would need for that. First, before we really go into the gear, let's make a difference and talk about the different types of working dogs there are. So you've got your therapy dog, and this is not just all the this is the four main types. Your therapy dog, your working dog, your service dog, and last but not least, your ESA or your emotional support animal. There's a big difference between these four types, and there's a big difference between what they can and cannot do. Thanks to the ADA, service dogs can go everywhere. But the difference is service dogs have to provide something for their owner, whether it be deep pressure therapy, they help alert them if their blood sugar's low, help alert them if they're about to have a seizure, anything like that. Now, you cannot go and ask somebody, what does your service dog do for you? And you can't ask them what their medical issues are. And sadly, one of the biggest issues in the service dog community is that you cannot ask them and provide proof of needing that service dog or proof that that dog is properly trained. That's caused a big problem because now everybody's going around saying that their dog's a service dog because they got their service dog certification on Google. It's a big issue. I'm not here to say you can't have a service dog. I'm here to just say don't abuse your rights. The ADA is great and that they have allowed us to do that, but there are definitely some issues behind it. And that is why I like to make sure that there's certain distinctions behind what everything is. So service dogs or service animals can go anywhere. They cannot be denied. Emotional support animals can be denied and more or less can really just go on an airplane or something similar, public transportation. But they can be denied entry into a business. Working dogs are more of like your military dogs or your police dogs, so they are legitimately working, and those dogs can go anywhere but our handler lets them. And last but not least are therapy dogs. Therapy dogs have to have proof that they are a therapy dog, and they have to have approval from wherever their site is that they can come in. So they don't have rights to go everywhere. They can't really go into restaurants. That's not what they're here for. Because therapy dogs are not there for their owners. Therapy dogs are there for other people. They're there to help other people make them feel better, such as helping children learn to read, those who struggle to read. They can read to a therapy dog, and they actually tend to increase their confidence because they don't feel the judgment. While we all know our dogs are pretty judgy, they don't see that. And that's the important thing. Therapy dogs can also be used in court systems where they'll go and sit with a child who is testifying against somebody who's done something awful to them. And it helps give them the courage to say what happened, and it helps them feel a little better about the whole situation and a little safer. So there's this certain place and niche for therapy dogs as there is working dogs, service dogs, and ESAs. Now that that's said and done, and I'll step off my soapbox, this is from Amazon, which is part of the problem with service dogs, is you can get this stuff from Amazon. But this is from Amazon. I specifically bought one that said therapy dog, and I bought a second tag that had my dog's name on it just to make life easier. When he was training, it did say in training and it didn't have his name, and I managed to fit the in training as well as the therapy dog. So I used this when he was training because, as a lot of you know, everybody sees a dog and they're all just wanting to come up and love on the dog and hug it and everything. But if you're training the dog to stay calm around people, if you're working with that dog, to ignore people until you say that they can approach. If you're doing anything along those lines, a lot of people tend not to realize that until you put something extremely noticeable like a vest, which is slightly sad, and it's definitely an issue, but that's not an issue for today. So I specifically got this vest. I didn't specifically get red because it's the same, it tends to be the same color as the service dog. I got red because I like how my dog looks in red, and it's one of my favorite colors. But you can get this, and it also is super handy so that when they do get certified and they're going on to their jobs, they can have their certifications right here. If, for example, Shiloh has a tag that proves that he is a therapy dog, and I have a card for him as well. So you can attach that to this. But most of the time, people aren't going to question you if you automatically come out and say, this is a therapy dog.